He says, I think Trump's near the end. I don't think he'd be this introspective unless he was seeing the Reaper on the horizon. I'll tell you something. I had a friend of mine, not a terribly close friend of mine, but he was the kind of guy that whenever you bumped into him, right? Whenever you bumped into him and he recognized you, it was like you had just seen him yesterday. And I don't mean like all the stories were there and all the knowledge was there. I just mean his hospitality towards you. I've only ever seen a really ridiculous, beautiful hospitality from this guy. His name was Mark. His nickname was Super Saver. I talked about him a couple of days ago. A lot of my friends up in the Shediac, Moncton area in New Brunswick, they are mourning. They were very close to him. They were very close to him, and he passed. Well, at least for me, it was a big surprise, and for the people that I've talked to, it was a pretty big surprise that it was his time had come. He hadn't been sick. He wasn't injured or harmed in some kind of accident. It's just his time came, and that has gotten me. That's gotten me thinking about my mortality. How long do I have? It's certainly got me thinking about what I'm eating and how I'm treating my body and how I'm exercising and things like that. It's got me wondering about the future. He was our age, and my guess would be as we get older and we begin saying goodbye to friends and family, we begin seeing our kids and our grandkids growing up, coming to those milestone moments in their life. Maybe it's a matter of you go see your doctor and your doctor says, hey man, your blood pressure is not exactly where it used to be. Here's a pill. Or you've got some swelling in these joints, or you've got some issues with this or that, or maybe it's just a matter that he gets up more than he used to in the middle of the night to pee. But these things that we associate to getting older, these things that we associate to realizing, these things that help us to realize maybe that there are more years behind us than there are in front of us. Ugh, saying that sucks. Maybe he's like the rest of us, at least in that regard, that he's coming to this realization and is starting to wonder. And not for nothing, but maybe him wondering. I talked earlier about I talked earlier about how maybe his questioning and maybe his desire will lead to his spiritual followers, his Christian right followers who are going to have to speak to this, or who may feel the need to speak to this. Maybe it causes them to have a shift in understanding and heart, especially towards others. Maybe it does so with him too. Maybe as he's wondering, he starts reading through the Gospel of Matthew. Maybe he gets to that place where Jesus says, hey, and then that day God's going to separate the goats from the sheep. He's going to say to the one, thank you. What you did for the least of these, you were doing for me all along. And he says to the goats, how come you didn't do that for me? When you refused to take care of the least of these in our society, you were refusing me. Maybe he gets to that chapter, takes it to heart. Maybe we start to see softening in policy. Maybe we start to see softening in rhetoric. I don't know. Nothing's impossible. There's always hope. Amen.